most likely an empty patch of the night sky. But they were only able to see them with the help of Hubble. In fact, there are thousands of glowing objects in front of you. In 2012, scientists directed the telescope's mirror at a single point. "What do you see?" and left it in that position for 10 days. Hubble took frame after frame, and the resulting images were combined. As a result, millions of ancient galaxies appeared in the photo. It would have been impossible to observe them using ground-based telescopes. And this is not the only instance where Hubble has made people question what they see. You shouldn't trust your own eyes, but his time has passed. Despite the fact that the device is still functioning properly, it must deorbit. And since the Hubble Space Telescope cost hundreds of times more than any ground-based telescope, the official Hubble program was completed in the summer of 2021, after 31 years in orbit. In this video, we will explore whether Hubble's images could turn out to be false. Scientists and government officials are debating whether such expensive projects are necessary at all. Let's weigh all the pros and cons, and most importantly, do we need such expensive telescopes in the future? The Goddard Space Flight Center was responsible for overall management. Hubble was assembled by engineers from at least 5 different companies and institutions, as well as the development of scientific instruments, and was selected to perform the functions of a ground control center. How did it all begin? The Marshall Space Flight Center was responsible for the development, design, and construction of this telescope. The Lockheed Corporation was involved in the construction of this telescope. The company Parkin-Elmar designed and manufactured the optical system of the telescope, as well as the precise guidance sensors. Altogether, they put in tremendous effort to make sure you wouldn't believe your own eyes. Is it unclear whether these are gas clouds or a painting by the watercolor artist Joseph Buckwitz to collect gigabytes of blurry photos? The truth is that in 1990, at the beginning of its operation, the Hubble had a spherical aberration in its main mirror. This means that the focal points of the light rays have been altered. At that moment, the project worth $1.5 billion was in jeopardy. The mirror needed to be repaired, whether or not in the wrong way, and Hubble could not take and send clear images of distant objects to Earth. 3 years later, a repair space crew delivered glasses to Hubble. She equipped the mirror with a corrective device, and the telescope was able to see better. The expedition was one of the most challenging in all of history, into outer space. But the need to send repair teams did not disappear. As part of it, 5 long-term outings were carried out. In 1999, 3 out of 6 gyroscopes in the guidance system failed. Hubble has lost the ability to point at objects, and for some time did not bring any benefit at all. Just 2 weeks before the launch, the repair shuttle's 4th gyroscope failed. There were a total of 5 such expeditions. Do we need another one like this? So the expedition did not replace all 6 gyroscopes, the fine guidance sensor, and the onboard computer. But what about his achievement? And they would have been impossible if the designers had not made Hubble suitable for repairs in space from the very beginning. In my opinion, this is an argument not in favor of Hubble. But for this very reason, the telescope became increasingly expensive even after reaching orbit, sending back blurry images. After the malfunctions were fixed, Hubble got a second chance. Stars, nebulae, galaxies. In the first 15 years of his work, he created over 1 million images of celestial objects. Hubble showed how the universe was born. Thanks to him, maps of the surface of the pollutor were obtained for the first time. Tona and Rhydi. The exact age of the universe has been determined. The second largest dwarf planet in the solar system. 13 and 7 billion years. Hubble captured a close-up of one of the oldest known galaxies in the universe. Hubble's photographs literally evoke a spiritual response in people. But everything he films actually looks completely different. The new images have helped to see what was previously blurry and unclear, or even invisible. Similar to the masterpieces of world art. Thanks to Hubble, the whole world witnessed the impact of the Shoemaker-Levy comet on the surface of Jupiter. It turns out that the final photograph is assembled from 3 images in different color ranges. The red channel of the palette gives a crimson red color. The green channel gives a pure red color. The blue channel gives emerald. It is worth understanding how the Hubble camera works, but it should be understood that these colors are not real. By itself, it is black and white, but the telescope has a set of light filters, the Hubble palette. When shooting in true colors, say with a camera, this does not mean that Hubble is deceiving us. The bubble nebula, you won't believe it, will be red. The images are adjusted for brightness, aligned, and encoded into RGB images, and it is definitely worth the money. He is simply able to see in other light spectrums. After all, it shows what we cannot see ourselves. However, there is another important component involved in the process of creating a photo: the mirror. The element weighing over 800 kilograms was made of quartz glass, and it caused the most problems. But the process of polishing the mirror took almost 2.5 years. At this stage, the total cost of the project has increased to $1.175 billion. There were no defects, as you remember. Do we need another Hubble? Rather not. But it is not only the launch and maintenance that cost money. He worked in orbit for more than 30 years. And although NASA's statement noted that the telescope is in excellent technical condition, yes, the Hubble program is officially completed. It was James Webb whose launch took place in December 2021, but it will remain in orbit until 2030. His successor has already waited for his turn. After that, 6 tons of its mass should burn up in the atmosphere, and the 5 that remain will fall to the quiet screen. It's a bit sad if you don't take into account that Hubble has already stayed in the sky longer than its allotted time. It was expected that Hubble would operate in orbit until 2014, when James Webb would replace it. Thus, Hubble also had to stay in orbit. However, a slight budget overrun and delays in the construction schedule of Webb forced NASA to postpone the expected launch date, material resistant to the effects of the space environment. The mission was allocated additional funding of more than $190 million. As a result, the initial deadlines were missed and the budget was significantly exceeded. In June 2016, his program was officially extended for 5 years, and now all this money will be sunk in the ocean. Regarding that, it is extremely non-ecological. And I agree. As humanity, we truly lose nothing. Someone says that we can live without images of comets or nebulae, so I am definitely voting. But as researchers who seek knowledge, we cannot do without tools like Hubble. Opinions may differ here. And you?